People who cater to the super rich, what things have you seen? I'm a driving instructor and one group rented the track to drive their supercars for the day. At the end of the day they all partnered up and got into the cars to leave. After they were gone we realized that they had forgotten their Lamborghini Aventador at the track. That was the tip. One of the few times I'd be happy with just the tip. Family friends were having marital issues. Their marriage counselor figured out a lot of their problems were over cooking meals. The counselor reminded them that they are rich and can just cater all their meals, and it would be cheaper than getting a divorce. They listened to the counselor and now are happily married again. Aren't you guys fabulously wealthy? Oh yeah, we'd completely forgotten about that. This is some real curb your enthusiasm shit.
Money does make you happy, ha 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 ha.
Oxygen is a better analogy honestly. When you don't have it, all your priorities immediately shift to getting it. You want an unlimited supply of it to never think about it again. Client was a mega millionaire in the 60s, so even richer when I met him. He'd ride the bus to the office to have free coffee. Every day. Edit, he was the founder of a company that had its name emblazoned on shipping containers being transported via big rig trucks in the States, but also international shipping and logistics. Came into financial offices daily for the free coffee. Didn't even talk about his finances, just for the coffee and then would skedaddle. He probably grew up in the 30s and knew to be defensive with his money. My grandpa is one of those born in the 30s people and they're a weird breed man. He owns a bunch of real estate all around Seattle and he cannot refuse a bargain of any kind and would be the one to ride the bus to get free coffee. Probably has 50 million in properties but still goes to the thrift store 3x a week hunting for a good deal. Old neighbor had 7 to 8 mil in cash and lived off of cooking potatoes once a week and burning both ends of matches, hadn't gotten a toilet installed in his house, still used one in the barn. Was more than 90 when he splurged on a radio and TV. Dude would have been unhappy living a wasteful life. A woman who owned a small private jet business told me one time someone paid them to fly their dog, by itself, to NY for about $45,000 for some training. No other passengers. It's silly to imagine an untrained doggo trying to manage at the baggage claim. I've had coworkers, innovation, fly across the country for a lobster roll and coffee beans. The trip there and back probably costs $60K minimum. Unreal. Private aviation is unreal. Let's say you fly from New York to South Florida. About 3 hours, give or take a bit. That's 6 hours round trip. Private jets can range from a few thousand an hour to $15K plus. Our company has larger planes, so let's say $8K per hour. Round trip travel is $48,000. Just airfare. That is more than a lot of people make in a year and these folks are spending that on airfare. Private aviation has gone gangbusters since Trump's tax cuts. Good to know it helped some people. Old high school teacher of mine is an extremely successful private tutor and does a lot of work in the wealthy neighborhoods in the area. He told us once he was tutoring a kid and helped him get prepared and pass his college-level physics class, and at the end of their last session the kid told him to wait there and went into his dad's office and came out with his payment and an extra $1,000. My teacher tried to deny it, saying it was too much, but the kid said his dad asked him to give a tip. I used to deliver pizza and this big-ass house was ordering 4 to 5 pizza every Sunday. The lady, a worker at this house, was giving us $100 tip. The first time, when I tried to refuse it, she told me the master of the house insists on tipping $100 to the pizza guys. I tipped a pizza guy $100 once for bringing me a corkscrew. Not rich, just drunk. Check out old fancy pants here, drinking wine from a bottle that needs a corkscrew. I love this story so much and the image I have in my mind of it. Master ordered that every pizza delivery guy gets $100 tip. Do you want to make Master angry? He sat all alone, on his pizza box throne, with a satisfied nod of his head. And when she returned, and he learned that they'd spurned what he'd sent for the cheese and the bread, he narrowed his eyes, as he started to rise, and he cried in his anger, irate, "Go tell them," said he, "that the master is me, and the tip isn't up for debate." I live near a company that builds yachts. One day there was an odd-looking yacht. A crew member explained to me that was a shadow yacht. You see, When you get hyper rich and have multiple yachts, you wouldn't want to ruin the aesthetic of your nice yachts with jet skis and helicopters. Nor would you want your crew to sleep on the nice yacht. So you buy a shadow yacht to store your toys and to house your crew. This shadow yacht follows your fleet of nice yachts around. I was hoping shadow yacht meant it used stealth technology or fought the pirates. I am disappointed. I'm sure there's an even chance that at least one billionaire has outfitted his yacht to fight pirates and tried to lure them into attacking. I became personal friends with my boss and his wife, super nice people. The wife turned out to be an heiress and would buy me whatever I mentioned, like in passing during a conversation. I learned gifts were how she was raised to show love. I've trained myself to only talk about things I already own, unless I find something useful she might like and suggest it for her. Can you talk about a new house for your new Reddit friend? I'm not super rich or anything, but I think gifts are kick-ass and I'd much rather spend my money on a cool gift for a friend who can use it than on something extra I don't need. I was a software engineer while most of my friends were in grad school, med school, working low-paying jobs, so I've enjoyed being able to chip in or get nice things for them when they said they couldn't. I do always make sure they're okay with it and ask if I can in advance so nobody ends up uncomfortable. Oh, my grandpa was a piano tuner. He couldn't drive due to epilepsy, so family would take him to jobs. One day Dad took him to a job and got talking to the owner. He said the guy lived in the biggest, nicest mansion he had ever seen. Everything in the house was crazy expensive. But the owner and his wife were very down to earth and normal, if not a bit rough around the edges. Finally his curiosity got the better of him and Dad asked how they made their money. The guy said he used to drive a truck and got tired of needing to carry around bottles of ketchup. That's how my dad met the creator of the ketchup packet. Some extremely wealthy people I have been around have a more acute sense of their own time and mortality, leading to impatience. Like they understand how awesome their lives are and therefore how short they feel. I knew a guy whose vintage yacht broke down before summer, so he bought another one strictly for that upcoming summer. His reasoning was he likely had 20 full health summers left in his life and didn't want to spend one of them without a boat, considering he had the means to. Honestly, can't argue with that logic. Was invited to a Christmas dinner while I lived in Seoul by an extremely wealthy Korean family. Very nice family, but I think in hindsight they wanted to show their friends that they had foreign friends like me. Wife had everything catered and the home professionally decorated. It felt like we were in a department store. Multiple Christmas trees, a working train set, staff handing out appetizers on plates, etc. It looked like she studied Christmas movies from the USA and copied everything. Dinner is served on a comically long table with 2 huge oven-roasted turkeys and all of the trimmings. They looked perfect. I was later told that Koreans don't like turkey and were just for decoration. They would be thrown out later. We ate Korean food. The family said I could take a turkey home and that the caterer would drop it off with anything else I wanted. Thank you for listening to another B-Town Reddit Stories episode. Hit the subscribe button and check out our channel for more stories. Let us know your opinion about this topic in the comments.